Okay, so I'm now looking at the Convince Me on page 482. So hopefully you have watched the visual learning video. If not, make sure you read over page 482. How can you find the product of two fractions? Now, in order to answer the Convince Me problem here, it said 1/10 of the animal pictures on Amelia's smartphone are cats. So 1/10 of them are cats. But we also have to figure out this problem using some information from the top problem, which was in box A. So we need to know that of the pictures that Amelia has on her phone, 5/6 of them are animal pictures, because we can't answer the problem thinking that all of her pictures have animals. I'm doing 5/6, which are the animal pictures, times my 1/10, which is the number of cat pictures. So when I do my work, I end up with 5 times 1 is 5, 6 times 10 is 60. So I have an answer of 5/60. I know that 5/60 can be simplified because anything that ends in 0 is going to be divisible by 5. So if I divide numerator and denominator by 5, I end up with 1/12. 1/12 is going to be my final answer. Okay, so that was the Convince Me on page 482. I'm going to jump over to the guided practice, and today on the guided practice, I'm going to only be going over numbers 1 and 2, and then as part of your independent practice, I want you to do numbers 3 through 10, because there's really nothing different about them other than what we've been doing. So it's strictly going to be multiply across and then simplify when you can. Okay, so we're going to start with number 1. I'm on page 483 on the guided practice. So question number 1 is the product of 3/6 times 5/4 equal to the product of 3/4 times 5/6? And explain how you know. So one of the things that I know about multiplication is that it doesn't matter the order that I multiply in. So if I do whole numbers 3 times 2, I get 6. If I do 2 times 3, I get 6. So the same thing works with fractions because I'm just multiplying them across. So I have a 3 and a 5. I know it equals 15. I have a 6 and a 4. I know it equals 24. On the bottom set, even though they changed the fractions around and they did the 3 and the 4 into this one fraction, what they didn't do was they didn't change the numerators and denominators. So I still have a 3 times 5, still equal to 15, a 4 times 6, still equal to 24. So my problem and my solution, my product, is going to be the same. It doesn't matter that they mixed them up. Okay? So same rules apply as apply to whole number multiplication. Okay, and number 2, why is adding 3/9 and 6/9 different from multiplying the two fractions? So 3/9 times 6/9. So I know that when I am doing addition, I need to have common denominators. So I have a 9 and a 9. I know when I'm doing addition of fractions, I'm taking a portion of a fraction, a portion of a whole, I'm adding it to another portion of the whole, and I'm going to end up with a bigger number at the end. So because my denominators are both 9, I can say 9, and then I'm just adding 3 plus 6, which is 9. That means I have a portion of the whole, a portion of the whole, and when I'm done, I actually have the whole whole. With multiplication, I'm doing a piece of a piece that already exists. So I have 3/9 or 6/9, and I want to figure out what a portion of that is. So that portion is going to actually be smaller. So when I do the multiplication, remember I don't need common denominators, even though this problem has them, but I'm going to multiply across. So 3 times 6 is 18. 9 times 9 is 81. So again, I know I can simplify that. Knowing my multiples, I know right away that I can divide both the numerator and denominator by 9. So I end up with 18 divided by 9 is 2. 81 divided by 9 is 9. So I end up with a smaller number than both of the numbers that I started with. So the difference between the addition and the multiplication, addition will give me a larger number at the end, multiplication will give me a smaller number at the end than what I originally started with. Okay, that was number 1 and 2 on page 483. You're going to go right now into the Do You Know How, numbers 3 through 10. You're going to do those on your own. And then you're going to do 11 through 30 also on your own. And I will go over the problems with you tomorrow. I will put up for you to check just to make sure that everybody's okay. Please notice on numbers 23 through 30, there are also parentheses in those problems, and you just need to remember to do the parentheses first. Watch your signs because there are some addition and subtraction in there as well. Okay, if you have any questions, put them in the comments for me and I will definitely get back to you. Again, this is just really review of lessons 1 through 4 so far because there's really nothing new that you need to do. We're just extending by using the parentheses. Have a